something we start this year as a new project. Since we've been doing this for a long time, I think it's time for us to share some of our knowledge to the people who are interested in university applications. Since this is the first session, so I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Carrie Sun. I'm the upper school counselor here in Hangzhou International School. This is my 6th year working as a comprehensive counselor. I work with students both university counseling and social emotional counseling. This allows me to support students in all aspects, from personal challenges to university applications. Now I'll pass it on to Ms. Donaher.
Hi, my name is Mark Donaher. I'm the head of guidance and university counseling here at Hangzhou International School. This would be my 16th year as a high school counselor, or working in high school counseling. Previously, like Carrie, I have worked as a comprehensive counselor. I've worked with, working with university counseling and working with the social emotional staff. But here at the school, I'm pretty much focusing just on university counseling. So yeah, excited to be able to pass on some of the stuff that we learn, and we have lots of discussions here in this office, and so now people can maybe sort of like be a fly on the wall and hear some of the stuff that we talk about.
So this summer we went to Canada to attend the biggest university admission high school counselor fair every year. And we met a lot of mission officers there, also some agencies. So Ms. Donaher, would you like to talk to us about the newest application trends, something you noticed
Sure.
from the fair?
Let me ask you, that was your first time at International ACAC. What did you think, by the way?
It's huge, and you get to see the people you don't see very often. You know, in China, you see Chinese reps the most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty huge.
Yeah.
So big now that they actually have
2 fairs.
2 fairs, one for just the US and then one for everybody else. And yeah, they are pretty huge. Pretty exciting though. I mean, like, if you're really kind of into university counseling and university admissions, then it's like, wow, look at all these schools. So yeah, okay, so your question was, what did I notice, or what do I think is sort of like new? I would say, I mean, I think everybody who is interested, for example, in US university applications would know that the SAT is kind of coming back, right? So that would be something that I noticed, that, COVID forced basically everybody to become test optional, and I think you're starting to see that it's coming back, especially with some of those really most selective schools. It's coming back, so that would be one thing. What do I think that's a good thing? I don't, but that would be something. I would say also something that I found very interesting would be, most people, we have for US applications, we have early, we have ED1, we have ED2, and
ED0?
ED0, yes, ED0, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So you can actually, I found out a couple other things too. For example, and I didn't know this, Wake Forest, did you know that Wake Forest has kind of an ED0 policy, like where people can, and basically what they will do is, if you can make your ED application, I think you can make it in August, don't anybody quote me, but I think you can make it in August, and they will make sure they'll turn that around in 6 weeks, and so you'll know your result before everybody else goes into the ED rounds, right? So like they're saying you can only apply one ED1, but this is like the ED0. And then of course the other one is the University of Chicago, which are basically saying that you can apply early, begin before the ED1 if, Wake Forest, I think anybody can do it, but University of Chicago, really pretty smart. They're really pretty shrewd and smart when it comes to working the numbers and working things to their advantage, and they're going to allow students to apply that ED0 or the early decision if they've attended some of their summer school, if they've attended their summer school. And I believe that also includes if you attended the online programs at the summer school too. And so I guess one of the questions would be, like for that one, would be, well, how do I get all my stuff from my high school if I'm going to be applying in the summer? Because the schools are pretty much closed. How would I get my teacher recs and stuff? And I believe University of Chicago came back and said, not a problem. Do you know how come it's not a problem?
You don't need one.
Because you've already given them that stuff when you're applying for their
Summer
when you're
school.
applying for their summer school. So then basically they're saying, we'll use the stuff from your summer school, right?
That's smart.
So it is pretty smart because, wow, I mean, if you're really interested in University of Chicago, there is definitely advantage to their summer school program. And so I guess they're thinking that probably they're going to get more people coming to their summer school program, right? So that's kind of interesting. And I just wonder, are other schools going to do it? Because like you're saying, it makes sense, right? Because
All the
you're going to make more money with your summer school.
Yeah.
So let's see if that happens. I think that was something. And, yes. So probably the third thing that I've noticed was direct admissions. And like direct admissions would be, really it's a way to, normally what happens, right, is like you need to apply to the school. So you would go and you apply to the school. And if you don't apply to the school, then, So there are a couple that I'm aware of. So for example, a really good site that I like to use for, to help students in terms of finding school lists is Niche. You know Niche.com?
Yeah.
So Niche.com has, they've got direct admissions right through Niche. But I am pretty sure it's only available to US citizens though. So I don't think international students can use that one. And we at the school, as you know, this will be the first year that we will be working through Meadow. And Meadow, what happens with Meadow is that the student fills out, and it can be international students, it doesn't have to be American students, can fill out, and it's not just for, Niche I'm pretty sure is just for US schools. Meadow isn't, like, I mean, there's Canadian schools, there's UK schools, there's European schools, there's whatever. And the student, it takes about 10-15 minutes, the student fills out kind of like their profile. And then if the university can look at the profiles, and if the university thinks they're interested in the student, then they can reach out to the student and they say, hey, we're really interested in you, like we like this or this or this. Then you can follow up with the school and they'll say, make an application. You make an application and your chances of, like, what it is that there are a lot, we don't know, and students don't know what schools might be interested in them because we don't really know what their institutional priorities are. And so there's things that go on, like they know, but we don't know, and the kid doesn't know. And this is a way then maybe to have schools that might be interested in you that you would never apply to and find out, right? So I think, back to what I think is, I think direct admissions is slowly becoming more and more of a player. It's becoming more and more of a thing. And I know, listening to some of the podcasts and things that I listen to, people are saying like within the next 10 years, it will be the way that most kids get into schools. And from what I'm seeing is, I think that's kind of going to happen, and I think it's going to evolve, and I think it's kind of growing, right? And it makes sense.
I think institutional priority is like a hidden factor that can impact the application application results. A lot.
For
Which
sure,
we-
yes. But I mean, like you can ask, like one of the things, like when I meet
the mission officers.
admission officers,
Yeah, I asked the
particularly
same question.
admission officers from the U.S., I ask like, like, can you tell me what your institutional priorities are? So, for example, I'm trying to think of one.
Gender in STEAM majors.
Yes,
Mhm.
that can be one. It was with Bentley.
Mm.
So when Bentley was here, I don't know if you were in that meeting or not. I was with Bentley and I said, what would be some of the institutional priorities? And basically, he was sort of saying, we want to get more women into business, right? We want to get more women into business. We just don't have as many women applying, right? So, and that would be, so if I've got a student, you know, that is interested in the U.S. and is interested in business, and I think meets kind of that profile, then I would say, you know what, I think you've got a better chance of getting into Bentley than the guy who has it. And we would never know that if we didn't ask them, right? So, and we don't know, right? So institutional priorities, yes, I mean, we can ask and sometimes they tell you, and sometimes they're not going to tell you. Like, we don't know if they're looking for this or if they're looking for that. We don't know if there's like, we just don't know, right? And so this is a way that sort of they know, and they can take a look then at even some students that are not applying and reach out. So we're trialing it this year. I know some schools that have been using it for a little while, so we're doing that. And so, yeah, let's see what happens with direct admissions and see how many of our kids want to do it and see what happens, yeah. So that would be something else that I've sort of noticed. What about you?
I've noticed there are like more European schools which are interested in Chinese market. I don't know if you noticed that. Like before, they're not really targeting Chinese market a lot. But right now they're like, oh, I want to get contact. Oh, I want to go to your school's fair.
Well, I think, are you noticing, like, I'm certainly noticing at our school anyway, there's a lot more interest in Europe than there was, like, say 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. I think the same other way around.
I could pretty much go like 4 or 5 years ago, and if I had, like, say in a cohort of like 30 or 35, 40 kids, if I had like 1 or 2 kids applying like that, I mean, forget about the UK. I'm not counting the UK in this, but like.
And they're applying as additional. They're not like I'm applying only to Europe. It's like UK plus Europe.
But this,
Somewhere
like,
plus
I'm
Europe.
trying to think, like, we had somebody going to Russia, somebody going to the Czech Republic, Spain. I think I've had students, and had students applying to like Italy, students applying to those kind of places. I think I have had students in the past. I've had students go to France. I've had students go to the Netherlands, Germany. I mean, like there's things about Germany too. So yeah, I think so. It's kind of like, I sort of feel when students are like that, they've got a reason that they want to go to Europe, you know. But I think finance is like, it's just cheaper, right? Like it's cheaper, but also I think there's some kind of connection to Europe. Either they have relatives there, or they have their family has like kind of business connections there. You know, there's something there normally. It's not often that you get a student who's like, I just want to go to Europe. I don't want to go to North America, or I don't want to go to the UK. But yes, definitely, I've noticed an increase of it in the next little while. How long if it's going to continue to do that, I don't know. But yes, I have. Anything else? Or is that it for our first episode?
Any topic you are interested in, you can contact us. Starting from this year, we have a new project. We're gonna invite a lot of like mission officers to come and visit our school in the evening. We have a name for that, right?
Yeah, it's just evening sessions.
Evening sessions.
Evening
with the mission
session, our
officer.
evening sessions. And probably, like, since we're on here, we might as well talk about our university fair. Pretty sure it's the biggest in Hangzhou. Right, that's gonna be on October 18th, 9 to 11 in the morning. And right now, we're looking at, we have over 100 schools that are registered, and I think we're probably gonna get up to about 120. So, and that can be open not only to people from our school, but there's gonna be some promotional sort of posters and things going out. So, great opportunity to come and meet like over 100 admissions people from all over. I mean, from Hong Kong, from here in China, from
Europe, Japan,
Japan,
Singapore.
Canada, the States, the UK, France, Switzerland. I mean, like they're just from all over. And we have UCL. I mean, the first one we got UCL, which is
September 4th.
yes. I mean, I think it's September 4th. I'm pretty sure it's September 4th. UCL voted, I think, the number one university in the UK this year. Depending on the world rankings, top 20, top 30, depending on the world rankings. A school where, for example, for last year we had a student who's going to UCL. He's going there to study law. So a student a school where our students have had success in terms of our applications. And there's going to be they're gonna be in Shanghai. I think they're visiting some schools, and they're making the trip out to Hangzhou just to come to our first evening session. So yeah, I think there's still space there. It's going like it's filling up pretty quick though. So if anybody was interested in going to that session, I think they'd have to get in touch with us pretty soon, right?
And one of the things we're planning to do is probably invite some of our former students, since we have a lot, to maybe do some interviews, talk about their college experience, their application process experience. Yeah.
Wow, sounds exciting.
So stay tuned and subscribe to us.
Right. Okay then. Until our next one, which should be next week. Have a great week. Bye.